Mr. Humble Hippie here. We're on part of our new trail system behind the... I just learned that this butterfly is called Little Sister or something, I think. It's not a monarch. And so we're checking out this new trail system that they're building next to one of our biggest toxic waste dumps. As you may not realize, this is a highly medicinal plant. Look at this nettle here, okay? This nettle, look at the size of those leaves. This is the real deal. If you see my other videos on stinging nettles, Butyrica, it is not the same. And look at how this blackberry, it'll just go anywhere. If there's ever an invasive plant, this would be the one. Blackberries. Anyway, so redwoods and all this. There's the city right here. Get the hell off. I'm trespassing, of course. They're gonna come tell me to leave. They're not actually gonna tell me shit, because I'm just gonna flip my finger at them and tell them to come tell me anything. We're in the middle of the woods. Don't challenge people in the woods. So, yeah, woods. No debating that. I have never had the opportunity to walk back here and check all this stuff out. This is fascinating. And I had no idea there was a trail back here. I never had bothered in the past. So it looks like they're working on it over there. So we'll stop right here. But yeah, look at all this redwood. All of this redwood. Okay, the deal with the redwoods, besides cutting down trees, there's the controversies are in different segments. One, when you cut down trees, there's a sustainable way to do that, and then there's what's called clear cutting. And when you cut down an abundance of trees in the same area, it affects the whole ecosystem, because like say this whole area here, you see all the trees and then you see this clear area. So if this was all redwoods, which it actually was at one time, by creating this clear spot, it no longer allows shade to hit the ground. And so the creeks behind us, which are actually protected, Jolly Creek, Janes Creek, look in here. You've never seen plants like this, okay people? You have never seen plants like this. Oh yeah. Did I mention don't walk off the trail, your life is in danger? I just stepped on a 200-year-old piece of wood. It just collapsed like nothing. But look at these leaves here. These leaves are 3 to 4 feet long, okay? I can't remember the names of these to save my life. The creek is right back there. Now the only way water exists, and this is very simple people, follow this, is when it's covered. Because when you uncover a creek or a river or an ocean or a lake, what instantly starts happening is the water evaporates. The heat, the sun, instantly starts drying it out. So the best way to retain your water source is to actually have a lot of trees and bushes and things covering it up. And that allows for the water to retain its moisture and chilling content, its coldness. And at the same time, the reverse thought would be that all the plants and bushes and different things are sucking up all your valuable water, and you want that water for your own agricultural use. Well, science and nature says different, and it's a perpetual cycle that they help each other. When these plants are here, then there's a lot of other animals that use it as a canopy, and then they're able to live, and then they're able to redistribute their own products back into the earth, which then creates this equal environment that's good for the water. So by things getting used, they actually get recycled. So back to the trees here, nothing's getting recycled here. And this big open canopy just actually, like I said, it kills off all the water areas, it kills off any animals and anything that use those areas for canopy. So that's the very minimalist, least important concern about destruction of the clear cutting. The second thing is that most of these trees are rare and not in the sense that traditionally they were over 500 years old. Most of these are probably 50 to 100 years old that we're looking at. There's the bigger ones over there. But nevertheless, it's that these are coastal redwoods, Sempervirens, and they're only in one small region of the world, in the ocean area of Humboldt County, and no other place. And so there's other redwoods that are the giant sequoias that are in the high Sierras, and they're a different type of wood altogether. And so the main problem that I'm concerned with the redwoods is, one, that they're a result of bad forest management practice, and two, the way that they process the lumber is with extremely toxic chemicals. And so throughout history, hopefully these things have changed a lot due to environmental concerns and laws, federal laws stopping these businesses from doing their practices. I mean, that is how things get changed, that they get arrested and stopped. And so they're using pentam and dioxin and a lot of extremely toxic these toxic chemicals, they last for thousands of years, and so there's nowhere to store them. And so when they're done, companies like this, with their processing of chemicals, they store these chemicals up in 50-gallon barrels, and they ship them off to places that will store them for them or dispose of them. And there actually is no real way to dispose of chemicals. So one way that they do that is in areas where they can burn it, which then what that does is that creates a toxic rainfall of those chemicals back onto the ground. Another thing that they do is they bury it, which does absolutely nothing, and whatever containers they are in will actually disintegrate, and those chemicals will just stay in the ground because they don't break down, and then they just find their way into our natural waterways called aquifers. And we have waterways that go throughout the whole planet. Everything is connected. Our planet's just, it's just one small ball. It's all connected, and so things just float around. And so all these toxic chemicals get dumped into lakes also, and into waterways and into the ocean. And up to probably the 70s, they would just openly dump nuclear waste and all these chemicals that I'm talking about in our lakes. Lake Michigan, Alkali Lake, San Francisco Bay, Humboldt Bay, all over the world. You can just look this up. There's apparently, in San Francisco, there are underwater scuba divers that put cameras down by all the barrels that the government dumped of nuclear waste there, and so you can just see the nuclear waste coming out of the barrels. It's slowly leaking over 50 years, and so they put cameras there to show us that it exists. And so, because our government just allows this. Oregon, the state of Oregon, is the United States government's legal toxic dumping grounds. And the eastern or western sides of Idaho also have chemical waste dumps. And so for all the rest of the country, this is pretty much where they go, and they just pour the shit on the ground. They just leave it there. They just pour it out. They bury it. They don't care. It's the same as Italy. If you look up on Vice, VICE, on YouTube or .com, it is one of the world's best investigative journalism reporter groups, and they have done reports, and they have done a series called Garbage Island, which shows all the garbage out in the ocean. But actually, that was not what I was talking. Sorry, that's off topic. They have a series called Trashing Italy, I believe, or something to the effect. And what that is about is the exact same problems that we are experiencing here in Oregon, with the government just openly allowing chemical waste dumps to just have open reserves. We have uranium mines that they just fill up with water, and it turns into lakes, and people have no idea, and they're just swimming around in lakes of uranium. This is in Oregon in 2015. We have no EPA standards or government care. It's the government. The government's the ones that created these things. It's not a private industry that's doing these things. It's government industries that are signing off on these, what are called Superfund sites. They're so toxic, they are the country's worst toxic problems. And so they need to do something in Oregon.